Podcast with Rich Keith. It's the Dork Podcast. Ryan Davies. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rarth Von Darth. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm looking at myself and the thing. My eyebrows are like out of control.
Fuck.
I'm getting like old man eyebrows.
Yeah.
Watch this. Like I can do like the.
Oh my
point
God.
them up.
You look like fuck. If I knew his name, it'd be a great reference. Who's the guy that thought he was Satan? What was that guy's name?
Which guy?
Remember that guy? It's gonna piss me off. Anton LaVey.
Oh yeah, the guy, founder of the Satanic Church, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it, that would have been a good reference. Fucked it up. Maybe I'm jet lagged. That's
or you could pronounce it's Lavey, and I'm Davey. So Levy
Von Davey.
Anton Davey.
Davey and his eyebrows. It's scary eyebrows.
Scary eyebrow man.
Speaking of First Omen, the new movie is going to be, I think, on Hulu at the end of the month. If you're looking for film, we have a lot to get to. By the way, if you're tuning into this one, looking for my report on my trip to California, that'd be episode 414, The Bad Batch season 3. We do majority of the episode talking about my trip to Disneyland as well as Tim Robinson's live show at the Greek, which was a blasty blast.
Sounded like it.
I had an awesome time, Ryan. I think everybody knows I had an awesome time. The whole state.
Wait. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing in the world now.
That is so good. I need to bring that with me everywhere I go. That's a Tim Robinson thing. Again, we'll give him full credit for that. I don't know who came up with it, his music guy, him, whoever, but they did that like 5 times during the show, and I laughed every time. So and now it is ours. So that's what happens.
That's ours now.
Little teeny weeny podcast. We'll steal from the big live show, and we're gonna have a great time with it because that is now a part of the soundboard. So that's ours.
If you don't like it, I got 2 words for you. 3 words for you.
3 words for you. Fuck you.
This week in Dork.
Fantastic Four has found its Galactus. It is Ralph Ineson.
Yes.
He's been in a bunch of things. He's been
in a bunch of things.
Harry Potter, I think. Was he in Chernobyl? He's
got a great voice. The very first time I saw him, so he played a character called Chris Finch on the British Office, who was basically Todd Packer. The Todd Packer of the American versions that he called Chris Finch. Okay. And he was just like this fucking asshole friend of David Brent's. And awesome. But he was great in that. So funny. But he has like he's done a lot of voiceover work too.
So he'll be good.
He's got a great voice. I'm sure Galactus he's gonna be like a voice of Galactus, not like the actual.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'll be good. All right. We are just 2 weeks away from the month of June, as many of you know. Anybody with a calendar would probably be aware of this. But let me tell you this. One of the great TV months, maybe of all time, because at least 4 shows. And I could miss one. Maybe I missed one along the way. There's at least 4 shows that I think you can make the case that you're like the most excited for. So I'm pumped for The Acolyte. Like I love Star Wars.
I am too.
I love Star Wars stuff. I love it.
I love Carrie Ann Moss.
Yes.
I love Old Republic.
Isn't Daphne Keane, right? From Logan.
Daphne Keane. And she's saying that like there's one lightsaber fight that's like they wanted it to be the best ever. So I'm excited for that.
There's lightsabers all over the place. Just like, also this fits in nicely in House of the Dragon. We're like, are there going to be enough dragons? There was a shit ton of dragons. And so The Acolyte, 100 years before episode 1, it looks like, are the Sith gone? Are they not gone? Is somebody killing Jedi? What's going on? So I'm pumped for the Acolyte. That comes out June 4th. That's right around the corner. You're getting The Boys season 4.
Is this the birth of the Sith? That's my question.
Maybe. Possible.
It'd be like the origin of the Sith.
Could be a Sith origin.
You're like on a weirdo delay right now.
Fuck, am I?
That?
No, I don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're glitching on me, but it's fine. Check this out while we catch up. See this, Richard? You like LaCroix?
I do like LaCroix.
Look at that. What does that say on it? New flavor.
Mojito. Oh, you're a fiend?
Mojito. I'm a
Mojito.
fiend for LaCroix mojitos.
I like that. Fuck, am I still on a delay?
So yeah. A little choppy here.
What is going on in the world? Was it like this last episode?
No. Just started.
Awesome. That's great.
Like, I can see your mouth, but then like no sound comes out, and then it catches up like 2 seconds later.
Is that what's going on?
To be okay now.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if it's fucking up or not. I don't know if there's anything I can really do about it, but I'll do the best I can.
I can just wait my turn. You can point at me when it's my turn to talk.
Go.
You know.
Son of a bitch. So you got the Acolyte. You got
it's fine. We'll
all right. You got The Boys season 4, and they already got picked up for a season 5. So I'm super pumped about The Boys season 4, House of the Dragon season 2, and The Bear season 3, all coming out in June.
I don't know. I'm gonna like. How are we gonna get through that month? I mean, it's plenty of content, but that's a lot of goddamn TV to watch, man.
It's a ton of shows. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna put on a brave face, and we're gonna watch all these shows. So the streams are coming up. So we're gonna do the best we can. Right. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Should them Thrones boys mount back up? Should we do episode recaps of House of the Dragon? Do you think there's enough excitement for House of the Dragon?
I think so, and I think it'll be good to do that because I think the rest of these shows, well, like no, Acolyte is a weekly, The Boys is all at once, and The Bear is all at once. So we could plow through The Boys and The Bear, and then we can do weeklies of like House of the Dragon and the Acolyte.
Yeah, I think so. I think. Well, so when we did Game of Thrones, the final season, we didn't have the best setup in the world. But me and Shime did like those nightly recaps, and I think people fucking took to that, and we got like
they did.
A lot of people watched that. They would just see it streaming on YouTube. So if you're up for some late Sundays, because that show's going to be if we start right after the episode.
Yes, which we did, and people like it was like an after show kind of thing, and I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah. All right, so I'll talk to a little Scrim. Scrim's the one's got to wake up bright and early, so we'll see if he's.
He's up watching the show anyway, and he's going to be rock hard by the time that show's over because he loves that shit. So he's not going to bed. He's going to roll over on it and break it.
Speaking of cock hard, do you see some of the Sydney Sweeney intel? Apparently, she's going to be in Barbarella,
and she's like producing it. Like this is a project, like a passion project of hers, and it's going to be directed by Edgar Wright, probably.
Jesus Christ.
Like talk about like there's a great I send it to you every once in a while. There's a great line from Archer where the scientist name, I forget his name.
Yeah.
He's like, my penis can only get so erect. Like, please stop.
I was like when that report came out a week ago, they were like Ana de Armas and Sydney Sweeney are gonna star in like some film. Like
who cares? Like what's it about? What's it about? Who gives a shit?
What's it about?
Who cares?
Be specific. Tell me all about the plot. What
I need to know, who's writing this?
Yeah, right.
Who cares?
Screenplay? Is this an adapted screenplay? Shut the fuck up. All right.
It's this generation's Wild Things.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah. Remake of that movie with those two?
They should remake Wild. Who gets to be the guy?
Who's the guy? He was just in that. Me. Wrong. Me.
I'm gonna do it. You're 40 years old and you've never acted. I'm gonna do that movie. I have acted.
That means I'm due.
I got an A- in acting 1 and acting 2.
I was a best actor nominee for our high school dorm play competition. Still think I got boned.
That I think you got boned as well. That's one of my big regrets. I never did the fucking dorm play. It was too much. It was too much on my plate. I was swimming in the work. I couldn't keep up with the work.
Yeah, I couldn't keep up with the work. We were overmatched there.
Lines? I was that's a good way of putting it. When you take a little public school Rich Keefe, you throw him into St. Paul's. He was overmatched.
Yeah. I'm like nose deep in water right there. Yeah.
It was not good. It was like going up against Pedro Martinez there in his prime. Wasn't great. Another TV show that's out right now. It's getting a big endorsement from our guy Shark. I've actually started it about halfway through. Bodkin on Netflix starring Will Forte.
I watched the first episode and I was hooked.
Hooked as well. I'm hooked. Here's the thing. As big of a Will Forte fan as I am, you just got to know going in, it's not a silly goose comedy. This is
it's a dark comedy, I would say.
Yeah, there's jokes, and so it takes place in Ireland, and Will Forte is a podcaster, so it's like great. He's doing a true crime podcast, and he's like basically like a cold case, but then you get to this town and you find out maybe there's more than meets the eye. That kind of thing.
So two things. So the town they're in is called Bodkin. Now, when I was a child, there was a guy who would come to our summer camp, and he would come to schools, and his name was Odds Bodkin, and he would like play guitar and like tell stories. Like he was a master storyteller. I still think about this guy. This guy was fucking incredible. And he played a 12-string guitar, and he played the shit out of it, but he would do like different voices and stuff. So every time I hear Bodkin, it makes me happy. Are you familiar with I just sounded like a pretentious dickhead with like Samhain? Have you ever like done any?
First I've heard
you should look into it. Like it's pretty fascinating. Like I took a class recently. It was a writing class that I was doing for like graduate work with this girl who like hosts a Samhain thing at our house, and she like wrote like a paper on it.
Really?
It's fascinating.
Oh, it seems
like I think we should, but I think there are parts of it we could adapt to the podcast because it's like the Irish. We come from Irish people.
We do.
I'm not Irish, but we come from Irish people. So I think it would be in Dorktober.
You're not Irish?
No, I'm saying I would never say I'm an American. I'm not. I just have a fundamental. I'm like yeah. My name's Brian. My brother's name is Patrick. My sister's name is Aaron. Like you can do them. And we're actually, our family is from Cork, which is like right where Bodkin. Yeah. So it's I just would never say to someone, "Oh, I'm Irish." Like I'm not.
Well, yeah. But like when you're talking with other Americans, like Keith and Davey, it's hard to hide the fact that we might be a little Irish.
But we could do like some Samhain stuff, like in Dorktober, like for the Irish Day of the Dead.
Sharks, dual citizen. Was good. Lived there for a while, so that show is obviously right up his alley. He said he binged it all weekend, so he already watched it. It's only 7 episodes too, so if you guys are interested, it's only 7 episodes.
Yeah, so Samhain takes place October 31st to November 1st. So it's actually their Halloween.
Great idea. We should definitely do Samhain something in Dorktober. I love it.
Yes.
I watched Unfrosted, the Seinfeld movie. In fact, when I was on the aeroplane, I watched 4 different movies, I think.
Yeah.
Unfrosted. Let me say this about Unfrosted. So this is the Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't good. However, everybody calling it the worst movie ever, and that's fine. That can be your opinion. I'm not arguing. If you think it's the worst movie ever, then that's fine. I just think those people don't watch a lot of movies, because I watch a lot of movies, and
there's a lot of shit out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies like Madam Web was worse than this. There's a lot of movies worse than this. It had one big laugh for me. I won't spoil it, but there was one big laugh, and then a few like whatever. Again, I'm never gonna rewatch it. Not good, but not the worst of all time. I also watched the Blackberry movie, pretty good. With Glenn Howerton. I watched a movie called Marmalade with Joe Keery and Aldous Hodge. It was a 2024 movie, so I'm like, I'll give it a rip. Interesting enough, not bad. Kind of like kind of decent, maybe like it's like a soft recommendation for Marmalade.
All right.
And then I watched The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham.
Jamie.
I do.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was. It was a Jason Statham movie on a plane. It was perfect. I was like, it. So he is literally a beekeeper.
Yes,
but it's also like there's a group of people that, like, again, with these movies, right?
Also called beekeepers, right?
Yeah. So you're not CIA, you're not FBI, you're a beekeeper. So you're a fucking badass. But then, like, you also apparently keep bees.
Like that's part of your cover. Like
stupid.
It's so stupid. So and then like the woman he like lives with gets killed for some reason, or goes bankrupt because the government stole her money. So he's gonna destroy the whole government.
Even better, the government did not steal her money. Hackers did. And so it was she fell for like a scam online.
Yeah, the prince of Nigeria was asking her for like he got overthrown, and no,
her fucking computer, and it was played by Felissa Rashad, her computer all of a sudden pops up and it's like, you have a virus, you're gonna lose your computer, call this number. So she calls the number and then like basically does everything that they say. She loses all of her money, including money that she's been raising for some sort of like
bees
charity. No, not even the bees, like some charity. So then because she lost all the money, do you know what? There's a little mini
she offs herself.
She fucking killed herself.
Fucking Claire Huxtable.
And then her daughter is in like the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And then the beekeeper, though, I'll tell you right now, he's gonna take matters into his own hands.
He does not like that one bit.
What was hilarious too, as I'm watching the movie, it was like getting to the point where I'm like, there's obviously like a lot of fight scenes, right? And I'm like,
right,
I don't think he's been hit yet. And then like he eventually did. Like at one point, I'm like, I don't think they're even gonna pretend like
no one's even touched him.
Then they eventually did, but like I actually thought it was fun. It was entertaining.
Is it still true that like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, like one of the biggest beefs that they had with like the whole Fast and the Furious, like him and like Vin Diesel, was like he on screen, like he couldn't lose a fight, like it was like in his contract?
Who, Vin Diesel or The Rock?
Both of them.
Oh, something's gotta give.
No, but they're like, it would always end in like a stalemate. Like neither one of them would lose a fight on screen.
Do you think Dwayne the Rock Johnson has already made his best film?
I think he has. So I was reading the other day, yesterday, that he's losing like piss loads of followers because, like, you know how he does this thing where he like shows up at places and like, you know, he's like Mr. Nice Guy or whatever. Apparently that shit's all planned and it's like sponsored. Like he was in In-N-Out the other day, like talking about how great In-N-Out was.
Was he?
And yeah, and like it was like a paid thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're calling him Dwayne. Online, they call him Dwayne the Ad Johnson.
That's not good. Yeah, I feel like the shine's coming off him a little bit, but I don't know if he's got like, you know, late in his career, kind of like a best picture in him. But
he might do the Sandler thing where he does like some like dramatic role and completely fucking kills it. But like, look at Dave Bautista. Like Dave Bautista's killing it.
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling, Dark Side of the Ring season 5 came to a close.
Yeah,
I watched.
You got any good ones?
All of it.
It's on Hulu, right? It's on Hulu now.
It should be.
Yeah,
I know it was originally. I just DVR'd it off of Vice. Oh, it might even be on Tubi, actually.
Did you hear that? Since Disney owns, what does Disney own? Like
everything.
Like Warner and Disney. So like HBO Max is now going to be with Disney Plus. Because they've already brought in Hulu. Yeah, they already brought in Hulu. And now like there's talks of like they're bringing in HBO too.
No shit. Did you see who might be getting a bundle together?
Who?
This just came across the internet.
This just came on my desk. Yeah.
It might be through Comcast, but Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV might merge together for a bundle. And then you could see, if you get all of them, you like, if you're paying for all of them right now, by the sound of it is, if you do the bundle, you'll save a great deal.
Yeah, but like, why don't you just it's just cable again. It's just repackaged. Like it's getting to the point now where it's ridiculous.
All right. So here was the quick list of season 5 Dark Sides: Earthquake, Buff Bagwell, Terry Gordy, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Harley Race, Chris Colt, Chris Adams, Sensational Sherry, the Sandman, and then what they call Black Saturday, which is basically when like Vince McMahon took over and like ended territory wrestling.
Right.
So it was good. It was not the best season by a long stretch, but there was
how much head pooping do we have? Does he have Vince McMahon pooping on people?
No, they kind of race at the
not
end.
Yet.
No, they don't really. They sort of like at the end of it, they're like, "Oh, and he's a piece of shit," and these are all the things that he did. But like, it's more like from whatever that was, the 80s.
Like when he bought like ECW and WCW. And
no, even prior to that, it was like he started taking shit over, and then like there was a small run where like, he was on TBS, and he was like pushing out guys, and like it's actually an interesting episode where the AWA, like all these territories, remember from watching like the Iron Claw,
yeah.
belong to the same thing. Long story short, Vince, after he bought the WWF from his dad, they had like this big meet. Basically, it's like the United Nations of wrestling. And he's
it was like, I think of it like boxing. Like you have the WBO, WBC, like.
But then it gets to the point where Vince was like, "Yeah, we're not going to be in this," and everybody else is like, "Wait, what?" like everybody's in this, and then he just like destroyed them and like got all the best talent from all the best places, and then it was over at that point. You got a video game in it? Oh, actually, real quick before you do that, the other thing I forgot to mention, did you see that they're making a SpiderMan Noir live action
with
Nicolas Cage?
With Nicolas, but that's the thing. Like, is he gonna play Peter? But I wonder if he's not gonna like, if he's just gonna do like, if he's like older Peter Parker, like telling the story.
I think it's gonna be because it's an Amazon Prime either movie or show. I don't know what it was, but I think it's gonna be him doing like the gritty noir Spider-Man thing.
Yeah,
but probably like with the idea that he used to be Spider-Man, but now he's like this fucking hard scrabble detective.
Right.
But I don't know, kind of interesting.
Yeah, so one of the great things that's happening this month, by the way, so speaking of video game minute, you want to hit the thing?
It's time for Davy's video game minute, even if it takes more than a minute.
So what's amazing is that have you been on PlayStation Network this month?
Yes.
There's a ton of games that are like unbelievable on this month's like Game Pass.
Oh, nice.
So Tunic, which I've played, I never finished it, but it was like a you play as a little fox and it's like a Zelda type game. That's free. Ghost Runner 2, which basically it's a first person robot ninja game.
Okay.
You know that?
Yes, I did.
There's a Destiny expansion that you can get for free now. But then I'm looking at like the Xbox Game Pass. So if you have a PC, you also have like Xbox Game Pass too. So I have like NHL 24, Immortals of Avium. I don't know how you say that. There's like a bunch of stuff that's like coming out onto like Game Pass, which is crazy. And I'm seeing a lot of gameplay of that Marvel Rivals game.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's like Fortnite and Overwatch, but with all Marvel characters.
Okay.
And it actually looks
all right. I give it a rip.
Okay. But I did start Hades 2. Hades 2 is in early access right now. I cannot stop playing this game. It is so good. It's a little bit more nuanced, I would say. So there's improvements all over the place. The story's great. Gameplay is unbelievable. So if you played the first Hades 2 does not disappoint. It's the only game I'm playing right now. Nice. I can't play anything else. It's so good.
Dude, we're a couple months away from college football.
And did you see the new like teaser?
Yeah.
There's no way that's gameplay. It's just like, there. But what's bullshit is like now you see EA, it's like they're toying with putting ads in games. Like you don't have enough money.
Yeah, no. Well, it's because they're like, oh, well, we paid all the players like $100, like what was it, $300 or whatever it was. But it's like,
okay. But I think they took was it Warner Games was like took a fucking bath on Suicide Squad. $200 million.
200 mil. That's my quote.
Ugh,
yeah, that's a fucked up.
That's bad.
Do you want to get in our Dynasty League with me and Ike and Bales?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I play on rookie mode?
You cannot.
Oh, I'm telling you, you better be nicer than Mac and Wes and Dr. Joe's Madden League. Oh my God, those guys are fucking ruthless.
Oh, 100%. I haven't played. I mean, I haven't played Madden in forever, and then college football clearly hasn't even been a game for a decade. So I'll probably be rusty as shit.
And what's so frustrating is that like you and I have been around enough football. Like I coached football for 15 years. Like you like played college football. Like we know the game. Like I know what I'm supposed to do. Like I can see defenses and be like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I just can't do it. Like it doesn't work.
This won't be as ruthless as that league. Although Ike's really good. I don't know if he's still going to run the option, but I know 20 years ago or whatever it was, he ran the fuck out of the option.
That was the whole thing of college football is running the option.
Well, me and Ike were a contrast of styles. He would run every play. I would pass every play. And so I was a lot better at Madden in college than I was at college football. But
now,
so here's our only rule. This is what I think we're going to do is you have to pick a team that is not ranked in the top 25 when the game comes out.
So who are you going to go with?
I'm leaning towards like Wyoming.
Okay.
That's my dad's alma mater. And then if it's like the other games, you basically build them up and then you're going to get invited to one of the power conferences, and then the next thing you might have a hard time recruiting the first couple of years, but then you can fucking kick ass.
And it's funny, like I'm looking at the rankings right now, the AP top 25 rankings, and like 25 is like Liberty University. Like,
yeah, there's some weird
plenty of teams.
Oh, there's like what is it, 125 or whatever. So
I might go Hawaii.
See, that's a fun one. That's good. Yeah.
Or like Army.
Yeah, dude, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, like that's where I always go towards, like those teams. UMass.
Yeah, those that might be a rough sledding.
So the starting quarterback probably of UMass football next year is a former player of mine.
Oh, so there you go. That's all the reason.
He's a Clemson and Georgia Tech. What started at Clemson, transferred to Georgia Tech, transferred to UMass, just right down the ladder.
Well, it's still time for him to go to Hobart.
And his brother is the quarterback at UConn.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy to see all the names in the game after playing that game for so long.
That's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool as hell. All right, Ryan, let me get to this.
Y'all ready for Bis?
Topic du jour time, Ryan.
We're already there?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today, Star Wars Tales of the Empire, 6 animated shorts on Disney Plus, very much in the theme of Tales of the Jedi, which I believe we did a standalone on as well. You can check the archives for that. But we begin, as we do with all of our TV and movie reviews, spoiler free. Ryan, did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. This was good. I didn't know what I was going to get into from the setup, because the trailer was like, oh, it's going to be all these shorts. But really, it's 6 episodes, but it was like 3 and 3.
Yeah, kind of what they did last time. Wasn't last time basically like Dooku and Ahsoka?
Yeah.
And then this time it was 3 and 3. And so you get like a few different other cameos from different characters in each of the episodes. And by shorts, we mean like 15 minutes. So basically you're spending 45 minutes with a character who we know, but we might not know a ton about.
Yes,
and
but compelling characters. And they did a really good job of selecting which characters, and I was very happy with it.
So was I. So the characters were Morgan Elsbeth and Baris Offee. And so both, I agree with you, like great characters that we know a little bit about. We would like to know more about. This show also does a good job of tying it directly in with either movies or TV shows that we've already seen, kind of just or both.
Kind of some video games.
And that too. No shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I thought they did a really good job. Like I like Tales of the Jedi quite a bit. I like this probably just as much. And so Morgan Elsbeth became even a bigger character in the Ahsoka show. And there's like a little bit more reason for her. And then ironically enough, Baris Offee was a character that I thought we were going to get in Ahsoka, and we didn't. And yet we got a lot of her here. I thought,
and now you know why.
Yeah, I do.
Which is great.
Which is so cool. And I liked her 3 episodes better. I don't know about you.
I did too. I thought that was one for one reason in particular.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's kind of like that's like a cheat mode or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like what do they call it? Wrestling? They would call it cheap heat.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
But so we just did an episode on the Bad Batch, which is 16 essentially 25-30 minute episodes. This to me, like Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Jedi, are must watch for Star Wars fans because it's such a great idea. And I feel like if you keep watching these and Disney Plus gets good numbers on them, they'll make more of them. And there are so many characters that deserve like this kind of added detail to, like a little bit of a backstory to. So hopefully they make more of these.
But I would say it's not a widening of the universe. It's a deepening of the universe. Yes. So it's not wider, it's deeper. So you know the stories, you know the players, you know the characters. It's not, you're not going to go wide, it's deep.
That's what I always tell my ladies.
Yeah.
It may not be very wide,
but we go deep.
They're like, oh, I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neither. But what is your dork score for Tales of the Empire?
So I bumped Bad Batch up from like, it would have been like 4.5, but I bumped it to a 5. This is like a rock solid 5.
Yeah, dude, I've been giving out 5s left and right. I've been giving out 5s like they're candy. I gave Shogun a 5. I gave Baby Reindeer a 5. I gave Bad Batch season 3 of 5, and I too, with you, am in lockstep. Tales of the Empire is a 5. And because it is what it is. It's 6 15-minute episodes, so it's not
if you see
long, but
and I see it as if you go all 6 episodes are either a 1 or a 0, you go binary, it's a 5.
Yeah, oh, for sure. If that's how you do it, it's for sure a 5. Anything else non-spoiler?
No, let's do it.
Spoilers! 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 Here come the spoilers!
Well, let's start with Morgan Elsbeth. So that's who you get episodes 1, 2, and 3. And as you know, Ryan, and anybody who's listening to this podcast, I love Dathomir. Anything to do with Dathomir, whether it's in the movies, TV, comics, video games, I am all in on Dathomir. Anytime you want to tell any story that takes place there, I am all in favor of. And this was sweet. You get early Morgan Elsbeth, you get General Grievous, who I'm also
awesome. Yeah,
love Grievous, and so that also like immediately puts you back into like, all right, here we are. This is like episode 3 time, right? Like episode 2, 3, like right in that area. Like this is where you're getting Grievous, and he goes and like dominates in Dathomir, and then that sort of is really the origin story for Morgan Elsbeth. Well, what's really cool about this, we already knew about the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
How about the Mountain Clan?
Yes.
I didn't know about the Mountain Clan, so that kind of expands Dathomir, and you're like, all right, there's a lot of different kind of
like
people.
Black Panther.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Where you have like the different, you know of Wakanda, but you don't know there's different tribes in Wakanda. So like this is like they're Night Sisters, but they're like more peaceful.
Yeah.
And they don't really want to get involved in any of this stuff. So it was to see Morgan Elsbeth go from like a Night Sister, which was you didn't know was her right away until she wakes up and they're like, oh, the Night Sister magic is wearing off, and like the markings go away from her face except for the one like right there. So you're like, oh, like that's immediately you know who that is.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say it right away.
Dude, I think they could do a live action show and just call it Dathomir because it's such a cool setting. It's so creepy. It could be like a horror action. And so you get Night Sisters, you get the Mountain Clan, you see what Morgan Elsbeth is kind of up against, but then as these episodes go on, you get her connection with Thrawn, right? Where like Thrawn kind of sees how smart that Elsbeth is and how helpful she could be, and so you sort of get that very early team up between Elsbeth and Thrawn.
And that was like, I think the one knock I had on like this run of 3 episodes was like the whole thing with like her pitching like a new TIE fighter to them was like, and I get it was like a way like in the door, like for her to like, but it was kind of like a weird jump between the two. But I love their first interaction, and basically, you know, you never see why I think this character in a movie or TV or video game where like there's all this fighting. You never see Thrawn fight because he doesn't have to.
He's so smart. He's the smartest fucking guy going.
Yeah.
So he's just looking for people that he can use or whatever. And so anytime you get Thrawn's one of those characters that as soon as he's on screen, that's super compelling because you're like, anything extra Thrawn you can get, I'm all in favor of. Then you get like the whole setting of is it Corvus? Is the place where she's the head of, and then so still my favorite episode of The Mandalorian was the one called The Jedi from season 2, where you get Mando and Ahsoka Tano. First time we see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, and they go to Corvus, and that's where she fights Morgan Elsbeth. That's where we get sort of introduced to Morgan Elsbeth. She has that crazy staff thing.
The Beskar spear. Yeah.
Dude, the Beskar spear. And it's a very Kill Bill type of setting. But you get like a little bit more detail, a little bit more backstory on her kind of running that spot, and everybody kind of hating her.
And when you first see Corvus in The Mandalorian, it's all burned down and it's kind of like a shitty like wasteland. And now you know why.
Yes. Yeah. And then so the character Nadora, and so it's interesting. So at this point, the Empire has fallen, but this place, they're not really communicating. They're not really letting the people know that is the case. And so Nadora, who was from Corvus, she goes there and she's trying to be like, hey, this Empire,
a member of the New Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sniff her out though. And then at the very end of episode 3, she gives out a message, and on the other side of that message is Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically that's just going to lead right to the episode of Mando and
that's I'm guessing that's how Ahsoka gets theirs through Bo-Katan. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. So that was fun. That was awesome.
This is great because on this side, on these 3 episodes, you get Thrawn and his involvement in all this thing, and then I'll let you segue into the next one.
So then we get Baris Offee for episodes 4, 5, and 6. She was a former Jedi, and what's incredible about this is she actually debuted in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, live action. So she's like a background character around the Jedi Council in episode 2 and 3. They're like, you can find, you rewatch those movies. You got to really look for, or just give it a bing. And maybe I'll do this, just like circle picture, like here's Baris Offee, like this random fucking background character that looks kind of cool. Then she became a pretty important character in Clone Wars. I want to say it was season 5.
Because she was a friend of Ahsoka Tano, like a close friend of Ahsoka Tano. Yeah.
But then she's the one that pulls a nutty, kind of attacks the Jedi temple, and then blames it all on Ahsoka. And that sets off this whole chain reaction. But it's fascinating. So then she gets not kidnapped. She gets like taken prisoner. Like you're fucking going crazy here. But then at that time, you have Order 66, and you have all the clones that are trying to kill Jedi. But they're like, all right, well, she was a Jedi, but she hates Jedi. So this is how we're going to maybe...
This could work.
This could work. Like, because weren't you always kind of intrigued by the Inquisitors and being like, all right, if they're Force sensitive, how could they be Jedi and like whatever? But like, she's exactly what they were looking for.
And they're not quite Sith.
No, they're not.
But because of the rule of 2, but they can't be Sith. So like, what do you do with these people who have like shunned the Jedi Order, or like have been like, I don't want anything to do with this? Like, what do you do with them? And then you get your answer.
So I thought this was so cool, like, because the Inquisitors we've seen popped up in a few shows, live action and animated, and they're cool. I think they're better animated. Live action, they look a little funky to me, but still, it's like such a cool idea. And so Baris Offee seems to be like the prime candidate for it. Long story short, she gets kind of set up for this. She sees somebody that she knows from the Jedi Order before. They
keep saying that's not my name. It's like not Jin, but it's like something like that. And she's like, now is the 4th sister who you've seen in other things. You've seen in video games. You've seen in
Ahsoka, right?
Ahsoka, yeah.
So then they go.
Oh no, Obi-Wan. You saw Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, what a disappointing show. But so then she has to duel the guy that she knew. She fucking kills him. So then
great setup. We only got, it's like was it in Dark Knight?
Yeah.
We only got room for one of you. Tryouts.
Breaks it in half. So cool. So then she wins that duel, and then she meets her new boss, Darth Vader.
Which is like what I was alluding to is you get Thrawn, and then you get Vader on the other side. And what's amazing, and they could do so much with this. There's a book, and I've talked about this book before, where like basically it's Thrawn and Vader working together, and they don't like each other.
That's fascinating.
And they do things complete. And I love seeing Thrawn pulling it, like doing things his way, like recruiting people that you said that he could use, like smart people, like and I have this whole army, but like whole battalion behind me, and Vader doing this in secret.
Yeah.
And amassing his people. So it's like, there has to be something there to bring those two characters together in a live action or animated kind of way.
Was that the same book that you were talking about where Thrawn is always kind of alluding to something even scarier than the Empire or than the Emperor? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Vader. And I thought you were going to, what was it called?
Because there's a lot of
alliances. So it's called Thrawn Alliances, and it's basically him, and they're basically put together by the Emperor, by Palpatine, and they have to do, and this is the thing that they have to go like investigate.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. But dude, Baris Offee becomes such a interesting character. So she's a Jedi, then she pushes back against the Jedi, then she's an Inquisitor, but she's not like full on Inquisitor like the 4th sister. She's like, all right, let's go. Let's clean house, but we don't need to like kill everybody. But the 4th sister's just like going through there and be like, oh, you didn't tell me the truth, I'm gonna fucking kill you. She's like, we don't need to do this. So then she bails on it, So she's like, all right, I'm not an Inquisitor either. And then the fourth sister catches up to her when she's trying to help save like a young Jedi, or not a Jedi, but just like a young Force sensitive character. And then at the end, it's kind of like a crazy. It definitely reminded me of like Clone Wars or Rebels, where you get like this crazy kind of like mind fuck end where the fourth sister stabs Baris, but then Baris basically like convinces the fourth sister to drop her shit. And then so she's wounded, but I think Baris Offee's alive, and I kind of think we're gonna see her again.
I think so too. I think you might see both of them again, because that episode's called The Way Out, and they physically and emotionally have to find their way out of something. So and it's, you know, Baris showing the fourth sister like there is a way out of this. Like you don't have to do this.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna get more of her, which is great. Would you like to see? So basically, like if it's like Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire, it's 2 characters, 3 episodes. You can do time jumps, you can do whatever you want, you can fill in a whole bunch of different details. I don't care if they're good guys, bad guys, or in between. Give me 2 characters that you would like to see get this treatment.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see. That's such a fascinating character. Like in all of this, who's just like someone who's just a master manipulator and tactician. Like you don't get enough of that in really anywhere other than books. And I would say, hang on, there's one character.
I got one. Well, you
do one. You do one. Yeah.
Balin Skull.
Balin, but you can't anymore.
You can't use his voice, but you could make him look just like him. Make it animated.
Oh, make it animated. Okay. Yeah.
Do it animated like this. Make it look just like him. And you know, that's maybe where you get, you know, somebody else to do the voice, obviously.
How about a Gunji series?
Gunji? Which one's Gunji?
He's a Wookiee Jedi.
Oh yeah, I remember Gunji. Yeah. I'd watch that. What about Dexter Jetster?
Dexter Jetster. Give me a good Greedo miniseries.
No, but Thrawn's obviously a good one. Balin Skull. I don't know if I like Cad Bane. Anything you could do more Cad Bane. He's not really Empire or Jedi, but you could do Tales of the Bounty. That's what they
Bounty Hunters. Yeah,
Tales of the Bounty Hunter.
Because they bailed on that game, right? Star Wars Bounty Hunters was supposed to be a video game, and they bailed on it. But I bet the script's pretty good, so you could probably make it into a show.
You could do like Kit Fisto. Remember they did a couple episodes of Kit Fisto.
They did Kit Fisto.
Clone Wars.
Plo Koon. Do a Plo Koon.
They should definitely do Plo Koon.
Yaddle. I would love to see.
Remember, we got the demise of Yaddle in the Grievous or the Dooku episode.
What about like a Crimson Dawn series?
Yeah,
we do like Underworld.
I'm in favor of anything Darth Maul. You could do more Darth Maul. People might be like, you've gotten a lot of them, but like if you're just doing like 3 episodes where you're just really filling in some details, that whole thing, that arc from Solo that they Solo, the live action movie that they teased, they never really paid that off. So I'd be in favor of that for sure.
By the way, I rewatched that movie recently. It's good. Fuck you. It's good.
All right.
Like it's fun.
Me. Yeah. All right.
Fuck you guys. That movie's good.
Which movie do you like better, Solo or The Last Jedi?
I like Solo better. Solo is more entertaining. I'm gonna plant my flag and say that like it was basic. When I say this before, I'll say it again. Ryan Johnson basically being like, "Fuck you guys." Like I'm not gonna make Empire.
Movie.
I'm not. It's done. And that was the whole thing. And you guys just didn't get it.
But where I do, this was partly his fault, and then they also just ended it really poorly. Is when Adam Driver was first pitched Kylo Ren, they were like, "You're going to be the opposite of Darth Vader." Darth Vader starts out the most evil. Well, if you're talking about the original trilogy, not like everything, he starts out the most evil and then ends like, wait a minute, kind of good, kind of redeemed. Whereas Kylo Ren, it should have started with like, hey, there might be some good in him, and then it ends where he's like full evil. That would have been the best thing ever. And Driver could have pulled that off. Instead, they kind of mix it, and it's like, is he gonna have
or what would have been even better is like, since Rey is a Palpatine, right?
Yeah,
they both go the other way. So one starts bad,
you
goes good. One goes good, goes bad. You see them both cross.
Yeah. Anyway, Tales of the Empire, solid. Now I can't wait for the Acolyte. There's more Star Wars material.
I'm so excited for the Acolyte. So many goddamn lightsabers.
Right, you got a P of the P this week?
No, we already mentioned it. I think my P of the P is probably going to be Bodkin. I think.
Bodkin. I'm going to rip another episode here after this.
Yeah.
I already mentioned Beekeeper. Beekeeper's not bad. Blackberry's not bad. Both are streaming somewhere for free. Iron Claw is on HBO Max right now.
If you really want to get sad.
If you want to have a sad. And next week, Dune 2 is going to be on HBO Max.
Can't wait to watch that again.
I might give that another rip here.
By the way, I went as viral as I could go. I was very proud of my Keith Chuck as like Baron Harkonnen tweet.
That was a funny tweet.
It probably should have done better than it did, but that was pretty funny.
It's always the case.
Yeah.
You guys can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, fuck me running. I was just so busy. I had a great should I have bought this, and it was Star Wars related. I apologize. We will do
it. Let's wait.
Next week we'll do it. Promise you, Star Wars related. Should I have bought this? Again, you can send those into dorkpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. You can watch them live on Sunday nights normally. Tonight, I know it's a Tuesday, but normally Sunday nights. And you can always just watch the episodes after the fact. YouTube.com/dork. Podcast next week, I believe, is TBD. Oh, no, actually, is it X-Men 97 next week?
I think it is. I got to play a lot of catch up with that fucking game.
That
show.
That's been good, though. So if that wraps up, we'll do X-Men 97, and then that's that.
It's all news. This the way the news goes.
The way the news fits the print. Right, promise me a million times over you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to promise you that.
Yeah. Right, would you say that tonight was a really good episode?
Yeah.